This is America First, and here's your host, Dr. Sebastian Gorka.
To so many wonderful friends, conservatives, and fellow citizens in this room and all across our country, I stand before you today to declare that the incredible journey we begun together, we went through a journey like nobody else. There's never been a journey like it. There's never been a journey so successful. We began it together 4 years ago, and it is far from being over. We've just started.
Far from being over. But what does that mean? That was President Trump last Sunday, seems like weeks ago, at CPAC in his first speech since leaving the White House. But what is the way forward? What do we need now? Well, here's my answer. I'm Sebastian Gorka, former strategist to President Trump, and this is America First on the Salem Radio Network. A transition of power should be smooth. The transition from the 45th President of the United States to the 46th was one of the most dramatic in modern times, and not in a good way. From the multitudinous questions over the last election's probity to the 3.2-mile-long, 12-foot-high, razor-wire-tipped, fortified barricade that today splits Washington, D.C. like a new Berlin Wall. Modern America has never seen anything like this, including the first attempt ever to twice impeach and try a now former president in the Senate. The radicalized left, which is the Democrat Party, tried to, quote, kill the king twice and failed. As a famous writer once wrote, if you intend to kill the king, you better kill the king. But they failed. Nothing demonstrates their failure more than the triumphant return of President Trump to the public stage at CPAC last week, the greatest convocation of American conservatives. For a man who was deemed politically dead and buried after his supporters and others breached congressional security, he is very, very much alive and back on the warpath. The political warpath. Calm down, Media Matters. Not only did President Trump look vigorous and refreshed, he hit all the important substantive points, from the insanity and injustice of Biden's transgender edicts to our nation's children held hostage by the teachers' unions. He made the collective cranium of the mainstream legacy fake news media explode with his talk of what America needs now and who should run for president in 2020. I wonder who that will be. I wonder who that will be, he said. But MAGA and America First was never just about one man. It was a populist movement about the forgotten men and women of America. Men and women betrayed by a political establishment convinced that its members are above ideas of representative and accountable governance, an elite beholden to simply itself. The real question now, at the beginning of 2021, is how the Make America Great Again movement is doing in the face of a left that holds all the levers of official power. Well, there are some very positive signs that despite not having our man in the Oval Office, MAGA is very much alive and well. Of course, this includes the double acquittal of President Trump, but it also refers to the arrival of a new band of Trumpian citizen politicians on the national stage, such as Lauren Boebert, to local victories and establishment upsets like Mark Robinson, who leveraged his anonymous yet viral video defense of the Second Amendment at a local council meeting before becoming the first black lieutenant governor of North Carolina. MAGA 2.0 also includes obvious events, such as President Trump establishing his new office of the former president. By the way, note, this is not his presidential library. This is his office of the former and potentially future president, as well as endorsing his first political candidate, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. But there are less obvious signs as well. Here, we have to include the GameStop and subreddit revolution against Wall Street bullies, and the outpouring of support for Gina Carano, the actress, after she was fired by Disney for speaking the truth about the left's radicalism and the negative online consequences for Disney. The new phase of MAGA must also include developments on the left that demonstrate that the grip of the radicals and the totalitarians is loosening. They're losing control. A year ago, it would have been simply impossible to believe that a move to recall Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi's nephew, from his post as governor of California would actually be a reality, or that Andrew COVID hero Cuomo would be crashing with his own #MeToo scandal. I wonder, will the Emmy help him? And most satisfying of all, the worst of the worst, the Never-Trumpers are in big, big trouble, with one of their founders found to have been sexually inappropriate with young men and underage boys. The erstwhile Republicans who have lectured Donald Trump and Trump supporters about how morally superior they are all either disgraced, unemployed, or both. With their website, I found this especially delicious, with the website for the Lincoln Project going dark during the president's CPAC speech. So, Donald Trump is back. In fact, did he ever leave? And more like Donald Trump are appearing every day, and his enemies are not doing as well as they would wish. But it's not enough. The Republican swamp is still very, very much full of swamp creatures. It was a key moment of the CPAC speech when President Trump named and shamed the worst of them, from Mitt Romney to Liz Cheney. The question now is, can we find and then support enough MAGA candidates to make the fake conservatives irrelevant? That will only happen if there is an organization that has exactly that mission. And not just another PAC or super PAC to collect donations and pay quote-unquote campaign experts and campaign managers. We need a MAGA machine. Just like the left has its own machine. And we need that machine now. And our machine will be very different. It won't be predicated on establishing a network, an insidious network of think tanks, journalists, experts, bureaucrats, former bureaucrats that are nested together to maintain or to obtain power. Its mission will be to serve the American people, to found those candidates who are best able to promote an agenda of America first and making America great again, and to help them win elections and defeat the radicals. We need it, and we need it now. Time to build the MAGA machine. Next, we'll meet one of those new Trumpian politicians from the free state of Florida, Congressman Byron Donalds. Sadly, we're living under a Biden-Harris administration. What does it mean for your finances? More debt, more regulation, more money printing, less growth, and higher taxes. The importance of owning physical gold and silver has never been greater. Call the veteran-owned Midas Gold Group today to get their guide to owning bullion and coins. Call 480-360-3000 or go to MidasGoldGroup.com.